Hi, I'm Jeremy Wood. I'm CEO of Frostkeep Studios. I'm here to talk about Rend.
Jeremy, what are you showing new here at GDC with Rend?
We're showing off our brand new retrofitted map it's 5 times the size. We added 9 new biomes, added tons of new creatures. So we really expanded upon what we were planning on releasing, a while ago.
You guys have really come a long way since I first saw this a few years ago, and you guys have already expanded it 5 times. That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of great feedback when we went into pre-alpha the first time, and we really decided to double down or quadruple down, I guess, on our investment, and just really take this game as far as we can possibly take it.
Gamers are obsessed with size. Can you give me a length estimate of how long it takes to walk from one end of the map to the other?
I think if you tried to actually walk from one base to another base, it would take over half an hour. But you'll have mounts to help you get there, probably teleporters to help you get there. We want people to, interact with each other and kill each other in interesting ways.
So talk about some of you guys have introduced new creatures, most of them tameable and mountable.
You should be able to tame just about anything you find out in the world, and bring it along with you as a pet. And a lot of those you'll be able to ride as a mount as well. And they'll come with their own different sets of abilities, different types of movement, different harvesting abilities. Like maybe you can mount a spider and you can walk up really steep terrain, or you get a wolf and you can really run long distances. So not necessarily this is the best mount, but find the right mount, find the right tool for the situation that you're going into.
Your game tends a lot to be like play how you want to play, and your skills will reflect that.
Yeah, pretty much everything you do in the game has a skill associated with it. So you'll get better at it, you'll get to choose different rewards based on it. The idea is that, once you get farther into the game, every character has a very different set of abilities than every other character. So you really get to build a unique niche for yourself within your faction.
So for people who don't know anything about Rend, kind of give a brief description of what the game's all about, as well as your history, because all of your devs have a colorful history at Blizzard.
Well, yeah, the original founders came from Vanilla WoW. We worked on that, Overwatch, League of Legends, WildStar, lots of big, colorful games. Then we come into the survival space, and there's certain expectations there visually, a lot of hyper-realism, lots of browns and grays. So we're trying to, respect that expectation, but also bring our own sensibilities into it. And so we get a little more of a color palette, but really still something that feels grounded and realistic.
Talk about the gameplay itself too, because it is still 20v20v20 on server-based worlds, right?
Yes. If we can keep the performance up, we'll go a little higher if we can. But being FPS combat, the client and server both have to run butter smooth. It's a faction-based survival game. It's kind of a new take on the genre, where you log in, you pick between 3 factions, and you have you're at war with the other 2, and ultimately trying to win or lose. It's a cutthroat game from the very beginning.
Yeah, it's like Rust meets Fortnite meets WoW meets Skyrim.
We try to borrow from everything. We learned that lesson, back at Blizzard. You borrow from other genres, pull them into this one, you make something brand new, and that's what we're doing. We pull a lot of RPG elements, a lot of FPS elements, even a little from, obviously a lot from survival games, a little from Battle Royale. Just borrow everything you can, and you come up with something new in the end.
You guys have always been known for taking things that work and then throwing out things that don't work.
Well, of course, nobody ever hits every time, but you got to try all the crazy ideas you can and see what really sticks.
I think one of the things you showed me here today was just how much the talent trees have evolved since you first showed me this game a few years ago, and it just looks like a lot more clean, a lot more straightforward, and just a lot more not intimidating like other games out there.
Well, yeah, you throw a bunch of ideas at the wall and you put in quick implementations of things, and some things fall by the wayside. Some things you really want to double down on and say, okay, this is a good system. Now let's trim it down. Let's remove all the confusing things. Let's add a few things to it, and ultimately, by the time you get to release, you got something that looks pretty clean.
Talk about how you guys are handling the PvP in your game, because now that the world's so massive, you guys have a new mechanic to introduce PvP interaction.
Yeah, we want people to run across each other in the world naturally, and get those real immersive PvP experiences. So we try to put things out in the world that'll draw people together. Like every once in a while, you'll see this meteor crash from the sky, and a gift from the gods has landed on the ground, and there's a beam of light showing everyone where it is. So obviously, everyone's going to run and try to grab that because there's a cool magic bow in there or whatever. And there you go, instant PvP. With a purpose. You're not just killing somebody because they're there. You're killing somebody because you want that thing, and you feel better about yourself afterwards.
Now, unlike like a standard MMO, there's actually the server does reset and you lose everything, but at the same time, you still gain these points to continue your progression for your character, right?
Yeah, we're working on the specifics of it, but the idea is that, you know, as you're playing through the game, you're earning these kind of ascendancy points that move you towards, you know, new abilities, new powers that you don't normally have, and those, even though the server resets when somebody wins, you get to keep that progression. And so next time you play, you have different ways to build your characters, different capabilities that other players may not have. So you're constantly progressing even through the server resets.
What's your favorite build to play right now?
You know, I'm not a huge PvPer myself. I'm more of a, you know, let's get the base built up. Let's make friends, that type of thing. So I go with survivalist, so I can, you know, go a little farther, require less food and water, do some crafting in the world that normally most people have to do back at the base, you know, carry more, that kind of thing. That way I feel like I can get out there and really bring a bunch of stuff back and help the faction without, you know, having to go kill a bunch of people, because I'll probably die.
Can you talk about some of the new creatures you're showing here at GDC with this build?
We got a few new ones that we're showing today. One of them is called, it was temporarily called the Frabbit. It seems like it might be sticking at this point, but they're these cool little creatures that run around, and they have big buggy eyes, and, you know, if they see you, and they'll burrow under the ground and pop up somewhere else. They're really annoying to try to kill, but, you know, there's a good source of meat because they aren't going to fight back.
They're like bugbears. They're not bugs or bears. Why are they called bugbears?
Yeah, exactly. Frabbit, it's not a frog, it's not a rabbit, but it somehow it just fits. I don't know why.
If people want to go more, if people wanted to find out more information about Rend, where would they go?
Go to rendgame.com. You can check out everything we got going on. You can sign up for Alpha, which should be up sometime this spring. So please come join us.